alopecia anymore. They are calling it male pattern hair loss, female pattern hair loss, or if the hair loss doesn't follow any pattern, they call it diffuse unpatterned hair loss. But the fact is, though we recognize different kinds of hair loss and we don't believe that this is androgenetic alopecia anymore, we are still treating it as androgenetic alopecia. Minoxidil and finasteride that we commonly prescribe to everybody for treatment of alopecia is approved for treatment of only androgenetic alopecia. It is not approved for the other conditions. And then we lament that the treatment is not working in other conditions. Also, using this treatment rampantly has created a fear of side effects. And what we are achieving is we are driving our patients to quacks. So patients are resorting to quacks and self-medication. Look at the popularity of onion juice. Nobody knows whether it works or not. And if it would be working, there would have been some brilliant pharma company holding a patent on it and giving you onion juice for application on the scalp. But people believe in self-medication. They think that is safer than coming to us for treatment. Minoxidil and finasteride were discovered accidentally by serendipity. These drugs were studied for some other purpose and accidentally they found that these could be used for treating hair loss as well. These drugs were not discovered by studying the hair growth cycles or the hair follicles or the scientific events happening in the hair follicle. So if we look at it, these drugs, they act on the clinical signs or the symptoms or the clinical manifestation of hair loss. Shortening of anagen and extending of telogen, which leads to miniaturization, is an event or is a symptom, is something like a clinical sign that happens. But we have converted that into the disease. But there could be many mechanisms or many ways that this happens. So we are treating only that sign or symptom. We are not taking care of the mechanism behind these signs or symptoms. We are not supporting the creation of healthy hair. So instead of fighting just the sign, we should be aiming at getting healthy hair that can withstand any cause. We need a therapy that can be assured that will show results within 2-3 months. All the minoxidil finasteride trials say you have to use it for 6 to 9 months to see whether it works for you or not. Today, people don't have that much patience. We need something that can show you improvement faster. So this should work within 2-3 months without any side effects. It should be safe to be continued for a long time without any fear of overdose interactions, should be cost effective, should improve the outcome of other procedures that we do for treatment of hair loss. Like we are doing microneedling, we are doing PRP, we are doing hair growth lasers, we are doing transplants, anything you want to do. This therapy should be able to act as an adjunct and improve the outcome of all our procedures. Now, why does cost-based therapy not work for us? We are still thinking of hair loss as a sickness or disease. This is the typical thinking put into our brains or our training by medical exposure. You always think some cause causes the disease, you treat the cause, you get rid of the disease. So you're always thinking cause. But it is also true that prevention is better than cure. So we have never thought of preventing exposure or damage to these follicles by improving the strength and creating better quality follicles, which can stand for themselves. We already know when a person starts losing hair, they do not lose all the hair on their head. Only a few weak strands are falling. The other hair is strong enough to face the causes. It continues to grow despite whatever is happening in the body. Whether you know it or you don't know it, it is still continuing to grow. So why not strengthen the rest of the weak hair to grow good enough instead of trying to fight the cause? Even if you fight the cause, you'll be saving a few strands that are falling. So instead have better growth. So if you chase the causes, what happens is the causes are vague. They are not well defined. They are not quantifiable. You cannot say somebody's stress level 65 gives hair loss and bring it down to 40, it stops the hair loss. There is no way to quantify. They cannot be confirmed. You cannot send a patient for an MRI or CT scan or do 10 lab investigations and say, okay, now we nail your cause. This is your cause for hair loss. Get rid of this and all your hair comes back. It doesn't happen. For the hair to come back, you have to actively do something to make the hair grow. So why not create a program that actively makes the hair grow? Also, exposure to the same causes do not cause the same amount of hair loss to everybody. People staying in the same city, say the water is bad, I'm losing hair, but there are enough number of people bathing in the same water and having no hair loss at all. So the cause is not the water, it is your roots that are weak, that are being hit by every cause. You treat one cause, your weak roots will be hit by another cause. The causes will keep on changing. It never ends. You're just running around in circles. So the only answer is to create good quality, strong hair growth that can stand for any cause. So strengthen the hair to stand for any cause instead of fighting each cause. Look at the other side of the story. So far, we have been fighting hair loss. If you want more hair on your head, either fight the loss or improve the growth. Why not start improving the growth? Your strengthening of the roots will also control the hair fall, will make the hair extend in the growth phase, will make the hair to remain in anagen for a longer time. It won't become weak, it won't go in premature telogen, and you will be able to have a better approach to this problem. So with these thoughts, what we did is we started studying how to strengthen the follicle and ended up with nutrition. Now, when we found out what all nutrients are required for hair growth, we wanted to make sure this can be used in the lowest possible dose to give maximum benefit. So include all responsible nutrients in the therapy. Find out the best combinations that can reduce the dosage and improve the efficiency. That is the way how the cyclical therapy has come up, has taken shape. So we deliver wellness, good health, and hair growth. So this is the background behind developing the cyclical therapy. So what are indications for this therapy? Hair loss without family history, so it's not androgenetic. So please use nutritional therapy to strengthen the hair. Hair loss at younger age. At that age, you're not expecting androgenetic alopecia. So please strengthen the follicles, support them to grow better. Hair loss due to stress, pollution, acute telogen effluvium where you don't know the cause. In majority cases of telogen effluvium, you just see hair shedding, you don't know the cause. So strengthen the hair, save it from becoming weak and falling off. Chronic telogen effluvium that continues unabated and you need to intervene. You cannot intervene with drugs or with therapies. At least use nutritional correction to strengthen the roots. Androgenetic alopecia or pattern hair loss with normal androgens. Here the androgen levels are normal. Your roots or your hair follicles have become so weak, the cells are so weak, they are being hit by normal androgen levels. So there is no point in making the normal androgen subnormal. What you need to do is improve the strength of the cells, make the metabolism in the cells better. It is peripheral at the site of the follicle that these androgens become active and hit the follicle. So improve the condition of the follicle. That is the answer. So androgenetic alopecia or male pattern hair loss or female pattern hair loss or diffusion pattern hair loss where you cannot find raised androgen levels. Please use the nutrition therapy. Short anagen syndrome, loose anagen syndrome have got no other treatment, but the moment you support these with good strengthening nutrients, the condition improves. Indications for associated hair loss associated with PCOS, associated with thyroid imbalance, or post-menopausal hair loss, post-pregnancy hair loss during lactation, hair loss due to iron deficiency anemia. You also have non-anemic iron deficiency, where the hemoglobin would be normal, but you find low serum ferritin and low transferrin or low iron saturation. This is called as the non-anemic iron deficiency. Crash dieting, fat diets, Weight Watchers, restricted eating, bariatric surgery, people with gastroesophageal reflux disease who cannot eat well, people with irritable bowel syndrome who cannot eat well, they are perpetually low on nutrients. Please give them nutrients so that this condition will improve. Now, when you want to treat iron deficiency anemia or non-anemic iron deficiency, you require many other nutrients that help the iron to work. Pumping only iron alone does not rectify the condition. You have to also ensure the iron is biologically available and being utilized. It requires a balance of micronutrients to do that. So requirement of balanced nutrition and wellness. This is also an indication to use the cyclical program. So fitness, exercise, people who are gymming, they require nutrition. Growing teenagers who are not eating well, they need the nutrition. Growing kids, they need nutrition. We have got specialized kits, formulations focused on growth, memory, and immunity. There are 3 different packs and they can be used in rotation. Wellness and immunity boosters just for daily life can be provided by the cyclical therapy. So indications with relative benefits. The first among this list is graying of hair. If you have got premature keratitis or graying of hair, there is a 50-50 chance that you will benefit by using the nutritional therapy. Graying comes from two resources or two different causative factors. Causative factors that are the external factors, that is exposure to ultraviolet light, to dust, dirt, pollution. These are acting on the hair to make them gray, or there is internal accumulation of oxidative stress, free radicals, which are making the hair gray. So the internal part can be taken care of. If the external factors continue, the nutritional therapy can give you partial benefits. So we promise 50-50 result in graying. Autoimmune conditions like alopecia areata or thyroiditis. In these conditions, the nutritional therapy can strengthen the surrounding hair, the existing hair, prevent it from being affected by the condition, and accelerate the recovery of the existing condition. Trichotillomania. This is considered as a OCD, an obsessive compulsive disorder. And in OCD, there is huge research of nutrition, minerals, omega-3, and antioxidants helping to break the cycle of OCD. So trichotillomania, if you support it with good nutrition, also eating the hair along with trichotillomania is sometimes found. This is called as pica in children. So people who have nutritional or mineral deficiencies want to eat their nails, eat their hair, eat mud, eat chalk, so many things. That called as the disorder is called as pica. So trichotillomania is one of the representations of this mineral deficiency. So you correct the nutrition and mineral deficiencies, it gives you results in trichotillomania. Scarring alopecias. In early cases, you can improve growth of the existing hair. You can prevent damage to the follicles which are being attacked by the process. Advanced PCOS with raised androgens. You will have to use anti-androgens, but protect the hair under the umbrella of good nutrition. Metabolic syndromes. Hair loss itself is a predisposing cause for diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cardiovascular disease. So if these are associated, you definitely need antioxidants and nutrients to build up the cells and take care of restoring the cellular function. Low immunity invites microinflammation. This is an hallmark of all types of hair loss. Recent studies show that even in early alopecia areata, you find microinflammation, which is the typical perifollicular or peri-infundibular lymphocytic histocytic infiltration with peri-infundibular concentric fibrosis, which constricts, gives pressure on the stem cell bulge area, causing miniaturization and later complete scarring, loss of the follicle. So the beginning of this microinflammation is found in all pattern hair loss patients and is also found in early alopecia areata. Each presentation is a variation or a variable presentation of the same pathology where it starts. So pro-immune kits should be a part of all the treatment plans. They can be used in rotation with other kits or they can be used individually for maximum benefit in such conditions. Now let's talk about contraindications. Iron is contraindicated in thalassemia, hemochromatosis, sickle cell anemia. Calcium is contraindicated in renal stones. Protein contraindicated in raised uric acid levels, kidney disease, liver disease, gout. Excess vitamin C can cause hemorrhages in the beta cells and G6PD deficiency. But the amount of vitamin C we have in the program is very low. This is for people who want to take 500,000 milligram vitamin C every day. If they have G6PD deficiency, they should be avoiding it. Iodine contraindicated in thyroid disorders. Then antioxidants and vitamins are contraindicated during cancer chemotherapy because they will protect even the cancer cells from being damaged with the chemotherapy. So they can be used during the recovery phase between the two chemotherapy cycles, or they can be used after the chemotherapy is complete as per advice of the treating physician. Investigations. Most of the investigations you require are serum ferritin, the iron binding capacity, iron saturation percentage or transferrin, serum calcium, serum protein, liver function test, lipid profile, thyroid, so T3, T4, TSH, thyroid antibody if indicated, testosterone, DHT free testosterone is the one that is active, that is more important, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, DHEA, DHEAS in females, vitamin D, vitamin B12, serum creatinine to have idea of what is the kidney function. Early deficiencies are compensated by slowing down or arrest of the hair growth cycle, making these deficiencies undetectable on lab tests. So you get a person in early hair loss, we do not wait to do the lab test. You start a well-planned low dose once in 3 day supplement, and you will immediately find that the condition is corrected. So in my practice, I rarely send for lab tests because I have found out after so many years of experience that most of the times the lab tests are normal, but the hair loss continues. I cannot tell the patient your labs are normal, you go home. I can't do anything for you. So we realize that these labs are normal because the body is arresting the hair growth and diverting the nutrients used for hair growth to maintain normal levels in the blood for other important functions. It's a compensated failure. So you cannot detect the failure. So starting the program is the best choice. Whether you want to do the lab test or not is a decision between you and your patient. We do not insist for it. Duration of treatment. The treatment can be safely continued without any break as long as you like. Minimum is 4 months because we are trying to treat a telogen cycle or convert the telogen hair to good growing hair. Because the telogen is 3 to 4 months, minimum treatment you should take is 4 months. Recommended is for 2 telogen cycles, that is 6 to 8 months. You can take a break after the 6 to 8 months period. Look out, watch for the hair. You observe if the patients are still complaining or they get thinning or they start getting hair loss again, you will require the treatment again. This is not because the previous treatment failed. It is because the factors causing the thinning or the hair fall are active. These factors are damaging the hair again, so you require the restoration or the care again. The nutrients provide support for restoration of damaged hair and result in regrowth. If the damage is caused again, your pollution, stress, lack of sleep, extreme diet, smoking, alcohol, if it continues, you need the repair restoration once again. So hair loss is not a sickness or disease. You're not looking for cure. This is more of a care program. What we say is this is like washing your face, putting a moisturizer every day so that you maintain your skin. Or this is like using a sunblock before going out on the beach. Or this is like brushing your teeth every day so you maintain your teeth in good condition. There is no limitation or block as to how many days you should do it and when you should stop doing it. The more you do, the better is the outcome. And this can be safely done because every nutrient in this that is FDA approved to use 7 days a week, you're using ton by ton only 2 times a week. So if you're going to take iron every day in a month, you will take 30 tablets of iron. In this program, you take only 8 in a month. So it's absolutely safe. You don't have to worry about stopping, giving a gap. What will happen? Overdose will happen. Nothing happens in this program. It's designed to work very safely and to be used as long as you require it. So hair loss is just slowing down or derangement of the biological cycles, which can be protected or supported with a good care program. Adverse events, gastric discomfort or bloating or burp with the smell of the vitamin, difficulty in swallowing the capsules. These things will just set right as you go ahead with the program. If you have got gastric discomfort or bloating, try splitting up the vitamin. Take 1 dose in the morning, 1 in the evening, or take 2 at night after dinner. So you sleep peacefully after that. You don't notice or you don't feel discomfort in the stomach because you're having a good sleep. So either split or take it at night. You could get black stools on the days that you take iron. Initially, when you start the treatment, you could get loose motions because your gut has to reorganize and reset to the new inflow of nutrients that is coming. You get yellowish discoloration of the urine because of B complex tablets. Sometimes people say they have difficulty in swallowing the tablets, but please don't cut open the capsules. The vitamins smell awful. You will not like the smell. Try to swallow it. These are international size tablets. We have not made them oversized. These are FDA approved sizes of the tablets. You coax your patients a little, they should be able to take it. So high doses and interactions. Let's talk about that. Vitamins are organic compounds used by the body in small amounts for various metabolic processes. You do not need them in huge quantities and you do not need additional supplements if you're on the program. Routine requirement is covered in the program. There are studies on high dose supplements which were done to prevent chronic disease like heart disease and cancer and respiratory diseases. But meta-analysis of all these studies has shown no benefit. In fact, they have proven to be harmful to your health. So high dose vitamins are better is a wrong concept. People generally are very naive They think vitamins are only for your benefit, little bit is better, and excess is even going to give you additional benefit. It's not like that. Vitamin A, D, E, K are fat soluble vitamins. They can be stored in the body fat. You can easily get hypervitaminosis and toxicity of these vitamins. Some water soluble vitamins like vitamin B6 can also become toxic. Large folate doses or large intake of folate can hide vitamin B12 deficiencies and interfere with the effect of anticonvulsant drugs. High doses of biotin influence several lab tests, leading them to false positive or even false negative. Hair fat supplements are no medicine. They are kind of carefully planned to prevent interaction between vitamins and nutrients. They can be safely taken with any other medication. So if your clients are on medicine for diabetes, blood pressure, cardiac drugs, blood thinners, anticonvulsants, thyroid, PCOS, immunosuppressants, antidepressants, alcoholics, smokers, sleep disorders, postmenopausal condition, even common cold or fever, the vitamins or supplements can be taken with any of these conditions. So let's look at some internutrient interactions. Say for example, calcium and iron. These shouldn't be taken together because they chelate each other and reduce each other's efficiency up to 40%. They are also targeting the same uptake channels and the same receptors, the same pathways for getting absorbed and used and stored in the body. So Roughhead in 2005 has published a paper on inhibitory effects of dietary calcium on initial uptake and retention of heme and non-heme iron. Wang in 2005 has a study on extracellular iron concentration, its effects on calcium absorption and relationship with cell apoptosis. So excess iron intake along with calcium can lead to apoptosis and early death of the cells. High protein consumed by bodybuilders or as their protein supplements, it results in amino acids. The amino acid circulation in the blood makes the pH of the blood acidic. There is reabsorption of calcium to buffer this acidity in the blood, which weakens the hair and bones. So calcium, which is reabsorbed, then when it reaches beyond a certain threshold, is start getting excreted by the kidney. So you have several studies in 1981, 1990, 1998 on protein-induced hypercalciuria, dietary protein increasing urinary calcium, and excess dietary protein adversely affecting the bone. So ultimately, it causes bad effects on your bone if you're taking high protein diet. So nutrient interactions. So high vitamin A interferes with keratinization, leading to hair loss. Excess omega-3 increases lipid peroxidation, causing hair loss. So people who are just popping in 500 milligrams and 1000 milligrams omega-3 every day, be careful. This excess omega-3 undergoes lipid peroxidation, leading to hair loss. People who are on fat-free diet are suffering from fat-soluble vitamin deficiency. Vitamins are of two kinds, fat-soluble and water-soluble. The fat-soluble vitamin A, D, E, K will come only from the fat source. So people on fat-free diet are having deficiencies of vitamin A, D, E, K, and they're also having deficiencies of essential fatty acids, which are required for the ceramides, which coat and protect the hair. So fat-free diet is leading to breakage, poor growth, loss of shine, bounce, and luster in the hair. So please have adequate proportion of fat in your diet. There are studies on postprandial changes in sex hormones after meals, and this has shown that serum testosterone, serum sex hormone binding globulin, and free androgen index is lower if you have got low animal fat in the meal. So if you have high doses of animal fat in the meal, high inclusion of animal fat, all these levels go up. Another study in 1992, relationship of sex hormone binding globulin to lipid, lipoprotein, glucose, and insulin. So these are also related. So your diet and the nutrients that you take in the diet have direct effect on the metabolic functions. High insulin release from sugar intake also causes subsequent concomitant release of testosterone from the sex hormone binding globulin. This released testosterone is now available for conversion to DHT, and you have got increasing problems. There is also a report on acute selenium toxicity associated with dietary supplements. So this is a report of hair loss from multivitamins. So taking all multivitamins together in one tablet and repeating them can cause overdose of one of these supplement or one of the included nutrients in this tablet, in this case selenium, and it does not work because these nutrients are acting against each other. They are not in beneficial or synergistic doses. More nutrient interactions. Vitamin C increases sodium, reduces potassium levels in the blood. Vitamin C destroys vitamin B12, we've given together, also leading to pancreatic beta cell damage and hemolysis in G6PD deficiency. Vitamin C reduces copper absorption, inhibiting ceruloplasmin and superoxide dismutase activity. Vitamin E antagonizes vitamin K, reduces platelet aggregation and promotes anticoagulation. Vitamin E depletes vitamin A stores. Synthetic retinoids impair liver function. Vitamin A can damage bone and increase incidence of hip fractures. Thyroid can use vitamin A, but it cannot use beta carotene. So if you want to benefit the thyroid, you require proper vitamin A. It cannot generate vitamin A from beta carotene, which is a precursor. High doses of beta carotene increase lung cancer in smokers. Beta carotene causes intracellular hemorrhage in alcoholics. So you just can't keep on taking high doses of vitamins. You need to be rational and have reasonable synergistic combinations. Beta carotene cleavage products impair mitochondrial function, creating genotoxic effects and inflammation. These effects can be countered by alpha tocopherol, that is vitamin E, N-acetylcysteine, and vitamin C. There can also be some favorable nutrient interactions, like iron is converted from ferric to ferrous by vitamin C, making it easily absorbable. Vitamin A and beta carotene make the non-heme insoluble iron to soluble, easy to absorb by neutralizing the phytates and polyphenols. Vitamin A is required to incorporate iron in RBCs. Zinc is required for the process of erythropoiesis or formation of the blood cells and RBCs. Vitamin E can regenerate used beta carotene. Vitamin C can regenerate vitamin E. Iron, vitamin A, and adequate protein are required for conversion of stored hormone T4 to active T3, thyroxine. Thyroid function requires iodine, vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, selenium. Conversion of GLA into anti-inflammatory DGLA requires magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, B3, B6. Ratio of 3:1 between iron to zinc is the most convenient or most beneficial ratio. Ratio of 5:1 between omega-6 and omega-3 is the most desirable ratio. Correction of any single nutrient deficiency requires comprehensive correction or use of a balance of micronutrients. None of these nutrients can work alone. So avoid too many nutrients together in a single multivitamin or in one formula. It's just dumping on the cells and it is not beneficial. Studies showing that once in 3-day dosage is better. So nutrient absorption depends on relatively lower levels across the blood. So if you take one nutrient today, it crosses across the blood and there are good level of these nutrients in your blood. You take the dose next day because the levels in your blood are good. Next day, the absorption is even lesser and is slower and slower. But if you give the nutrient once in 3 days, when the levels have decreased by utilization of this nutrient over the 2-day gap, then you can enhance the nutrition for every dose that comes once in 3 days. The soluble complexes binding the nutrient for transport, conversion to storage form, transporting it in the circulation, reactivation, making it biologically available. Each of these requires some cofactors, enzymes, that are used for these steps. So if you keep on pushing the same nutrient, all these mediators are exhausted, they need to be replenished and restored back to function by giving them a 2-day gap in between. So Brown in 1958 published a study saying that excessive consumption or repeated consumption of iron can create mucosal blocks in the human intestinal epithelium, which blocks the iron absorption. Study in 1995 showed that absorption of iron supplements is more efficient when it is administered every 3 days. Another study in 2009 shows that body iron stores and glucose intolerance have a role in hyperandrogenism, insulin resistance, the genomic variants, and inflammation, oxidative stress, and iron metabolism. All these are related. Excessive iron through Fenton reaction becomes pro-oxidative. High ferritin levels lead to oxidative stress, insulin resistance, and inflammation. So we have to take these things into consideration before we prescribe nutrients to our patients. We have created the program by taking into account all these variations and making the best of it with minimum dosage and improving the efficiency. High doses do not always mean better efficiency. We require reactive oxygen species in the body. We know that ROS is bad for our cellular function, but you cannot completely neutralize the ROS. If you completely neutralize the reactive oxygen species, you're interfering with the protective mechanisms in the body. These are required for apoptosis, detoxification, phagocytosis. If a macrophage engulfs a bacteria, the bacteria is killed by throwing a volley of ROS onto the bacteria, which the bacteria cannot withstand. So ROS are essential. So just because antioxidants are good, you cannot overdo the antioxidants and try to neutralize all the ROS available in your body. It's not the right approach. In 2005, you have a paper that says beta carotene breakdown products can impair mitochondrial function. We just saw this earlier also, and this impairment by genotoxins can be countered by use of vitamin E, N-acetylcysteine, and vitamin C. Another study on high doses of vitamin C. This study shows that if you keep on increasing the dose of vitamin C, after a certain dose, it does not increase any more plasma levels. And the vitamin C, instead of acting as antioxidant, reverses and starts acting as pro-oxidant. So high levels of antioxidants become pro-oxidant. So don't think that consuming higher levels of vitamins and antioxidants or minerals are giving you better benefit. There is a threshold, there is a safe margin, and there is a dose that gives you the best efficiency. So high doses of selenium, another study saying high doses of selenium are not recommended. So we have created a cyclical nutrition therapy for you where we combine synergistic nutrients on different days. We avoid antagonistic nutrients from being administered all together on the same day. We split them in a 3-day cycle, and you can take it safely with low dosage, no fear of overdose, with synergistic action, no antagonism, low dose, and better efficiency. Now, vitamins and nutrients have got two kinds of doses. They have a treatment dose or a therapeutic dose, and they have a prophylactic dose or a preventive dose. The treatment dose you want to give for a person who is suffering from vitamin C deficiency or scurvy would be very high. But a preventive dose or prophylactic dose you are taking for wellness can be as low as possible to be effective. You know that we have a controlled clinical trial on this where we have compared 100 men and 100 women with the treatment group and control group. So total 400 patients in this study, studied with either minoxidil plus finasteride in men compared with nutrition therapy and minoxidil in men, or only minoxidil in women compared with nutrition and minoxidil in the treatment group. This shows an average improvement of 18% in density at 2 months and 30% in 4 months, average improvement of 9% in caliber at 2 months and 21% at 4 months. There were no non-responders. Most long-term studies on minoxidil finasteride come up with 40, 42%, 51% people who have got no benefit at all, who have not had adequate benefit. And in fact, in the study, there are 70% whose counts deteriorated at the end of 1 year. Here, everybody has responded as early as 2 months, 100% response, and with a good range of improvement. And this improvement doesn't stop at the 2 months or 4 months time. As you continue the therapy, the improvement will continue further. We have also published benefit of the therapy in hair loss due to pollution, smokers, in cell phone radiation, hair shaft disorders, hair transplant. So overall, we have 13 to 14 international peer-reviewed publications on this matter, including monilethrics, role of non-androgenic factors, special paper on just role of nutritional supplements, approach to hair loss management without using DHT blockers, improving cellular environment and tissue response in the follicles without DHT. So these are various studies you can go through. These studies are available on ResearchGate, and on the international prestigious ResearchGate community, there are more than 25,700 reads of our publications. These publications have been downloaded in more than 400 universities around the world. So this is a new concept which is catching up and which gives you assured results and clinical benefits. So other benefits reported by our patients who are on the therapy. Patients come back and tell us we are treating them for hair loss, but they are having better skin. They are having better control of their thyroid hormones. their PCOS symptoms are improving. Some people who are trying to conceive very badly, within 3 months or 4 months of the therapy, they have conceived. Their small aches and pains in the body are gone. They have better stamina, good energy levels. They don't feel exhausted at the end of the day. They wake up fresh in the morning. They are alert at work all throughout the day. Students of this study are finding better memory. There is increased height in teenagers who are on the therapy within 4 to 6 months, and they get better immunity. So please understand this therapy in detail. We have never exposed you to the details or science of this therapy in this way, which we wanted to do today in this webinar, and reap the benefits of this therapy for all your patients. Now I will hold back. I'll stop my screen sharing here. So we will open up for question and answer. So anybody has questions, you can type them in your chat box. I'll try to catch them. The questions are there on my screen only for a few seconds. So we'll make sure that we are attentive and be able to catch your questions. If I cannot catch your question, you can send them in the WhatsApp group and we will individually still reply them. So commonly people want to know how long to use the therapy, what is the duration. So minimum duration is 4 months, recommended duration is 4 to 6 months. After 4 to 6 months, you observe what is the progress. If the damaging factors that are active in these patients will continue, they will require the support again. Thyroid patient can take the therapy for at least 8 to 10 months. After that, if his thyroid condition improves, you can discontinue. Why do we need? There is not much difference between therapy for men and women, but often you will get husband and wife coming both having hair loss. You can't give them exactly the same kit. So for patient satisfaction, we have created a difference. Earlier, we had the inclusion of saw palmetto in the kits, which is not there. And we had black cohosh in the female kits, which now is not there. So right now the kits are practically the same. I missed 2 questions in between, so sorry. Could you just repost your question, please? Patients who are not happy, you have to go into the details of why they are not happy. Most of these patients, they take vitamins for a few days, they decide that they are not having improvement and they want to stop it. Beta carotene is a precursor of vitamin A. Protein powders we don't have. We have got proper plant nutrition powders for kids. So either the patient stop the therapy within 2-3 weeks, or they find within 2-3 weeks their hair loss is decreasing, so they discontinue the therapy, or they are using only oral vitamins. They are not using scalp applications. They are not taking care of their scalp status, or they are doing excessive weight loss in addition to the therapy, which becomes counterproductive. There are many reasons, but there is something wrong, what they are not following correctly. Either they are not understanding the therapy. Local applications, you can use peptide creams or minoxidil. Powders for elderly on multiple comprehensive. You can use the kids powders in elderly easily. Use hair fact versus finasteride. That is exactly the study that we have done. You read our clinical trial, you will get the details. You can use any kit, start with any kit amongst the 1, 2, 3, 4 that are there, all are equally good. Shampoo we recommend is Trichosoft for daily use, Biwash for anti-dandruff care. Conditioners, all are equally good. We don't have a specific choice for conditioners, but the Trichosoft has a built-in conditioner, so you may not require an additional separate conditioner. Again, I missed 1 or 2 questions in between. You see visible results within 2 months, good results within 4 months. You have topical finasteride and minoxidil. You don't have dutasteride, is off-label use, is not available. All kits are in balanced dose. There is no kit that has got low dose. Monotherapy is sufficient orally. No, you require stimulation of the hair. If you're looking at growing the hair, monotherapy will give you wellness, and as much as the hair can benefit just by improving the wellness. But if you want to stimulate the hair growth, you require scalp application and scalp hygiene. Maintenance kits are available. They are divided as detox, antioxidants. You can get maintenance kits which are 1 tablet per day instead of the regular kits that are 2 per day. Frizzy hair is due to poor intake of fat soluble vitamins. Make sure you are having adequate vitamins and fat, essential fatty acids. Make sure you don't have constipation. You can use the kids powder for elderly people. The dose is OD. You're just taking 2 vitamins per day. They are taken only once a day. So all kits are only once a day. The kits are made to benefit the hair, not for convenience of the patient. The patients will always say, give me 1 multivitamin tablet. I want to take it and be happy. But the fact is that doesn't make you happy and doesn't make you reap the benefit that is required. So sometimes we cannot always design things to please the patients. Sometimes what we need to do is what is required for the hair growth. Males and females both can use minoxidil. Females you prefer 2%, males prefer 5%. Trichogen peptide cream can be used by both men and women. Omega-3 and essential fatty acids are different. You can use low-level laser therapy with hair fact. That would be the first procedure. Non-invasive, no injections. Patients are not afraid of it. Can be easily done and is effective. Premature keratitis, just use the regular kits. There is no specific dosage. After all, everything is benefited by antioxidants and nutrients. Yeah, in cancer patients, very safe to take hair fat. Take it between the recovery period or after the chemotherapy is over. Don't take it when actual cancer treatment is going on, because the hair fact antioxidants and nutrients will provide protection to cancer cells as well. Omega-3 twice a week is enough. You don't have to add it to the kits. Most of the kits will contain, you can select a kit that contains omega-3. All investigations always will be normal. You will not find abnormal investigations because this is not a disease. You're still thinking hair loss is a disease. It is not a disease. It is slowing down of the biological cycles. So you don't get abnormal investigations in these patients. That's why you should refrain from using anti-androgens or enzyme blockers. For PRP, do the platelet count so you know what kind of concentration you are going to get. Alopecia totalis is a proper disease. There is no treatment for it. If a female patient not responsive to the kit after 2 months, take proper trichoscopic pictures, follow her up to the T, make sure she's following everything correctly. These might be a slow responder, will respond after 4 months. The natural telogen cycle is 3 to 4 months. We are just getting an early response in 2 months. Somebody may not have an early response. They might be late responders. Initially, try for 2 to 3 months. Don't add D3 and ferritin. After 2 months, if you find that using the kit is not raising up the D3 or ferritin, then you can add additional D3 or ferritin. Because just increasing D3 or ferritin won't work alone. It requires the support of all other micronutrients which are there in the kit. Every patient having hair loss is an ideal patient for hair fact. You start it early and patients will respond to it. You don't have to work up. You're still thinking in the medical mind, you're still thinking hair loss is a disease. You want a workup. So this is not a disease, this is biological slowdown So what you need is you need nutritional support. The moment you strengthen the cells, give them support, this will start building up and showing results. Amit is posting the recordings of all the webinars. You can catch up with him. I'm sorry, a few questions I still missed, though I tried to catch. The question comes on my screen only for like 3 or 4 seconds. And if 2, 3 questions come together, I tend to miss it. So if I have not replied somebody's question, you can please post it again. I'll try to take care of it. Or you can post the questions on the WhatsApp group. We will reply each one of them. Thanks a lot, all of you. Thanks for your appreciation. Your kind words encourage me to keep going. Thank you. We will try to have webinars on more topics. We can even deal with individual kits. We'll try to do that. So if there are no more questions, we can conclude here, call it a day. Ayurvedic detox also is good. In fact, we have another wing, a separate study wing that has created an Ayurvedic kit as well. Detox and removing impurities will always help. Oil, the best oil you can use is combination of sesame oil and coconut oil. We have oil called Trichoph Pact and Swadha, both are good. Coconut oil has got good penetration in the hair shaft. Sesame oil has good penetration across the skin and dermis. So you get benefits of both. And these oil contain very good Ayurvedic extracts, actives, which can be delivered in the hair shaft as well as delivered into the scalp. Castor oil is more viscous. It retains for a longer time but does not enter the hair shaft. You can use hair fact in gallstones. Nothing special for IBS. You eat something and take your hair fact capsule or tablet. Suggestion for frizzy hair is have adequate fat in your diet. Make sure you don't have constipation. Good amount of essential fatty acids and fat soluble vitamins will improve the frizzy hair. And few drops of oil, 5 to 10 drops, you can use on the outer surface of the frizzy hair to remove the frizziness. So the combination of coconut oil and til oil or just pure coconut oil, about 10 drops to rub across your palm and apply on the outer surface of the hair. Will take care of the frizziness. Yes, every patient who demands can be given hair fact. We want to create a therapy that can be used without any problem. Problem is with medicine. This is only nutrition. No proven oil for gray hair. One question before that on PCOS I missed. I'm sorry. You can post that question on PCOS again, please. Special hair fact for chronic acne and PCOS without PCOS. The same PCOS kit will help you for chronic acne as well. But we are coming out with a special range on only skin facts, which will be applicable to various skin conditions. You will soon get it. So there you will have a proper acne kit. Glutathione, not our specialty. You can use myo-inositol, metformin, and Herfac together, though the Herfac kit for PCOS has got some doses of these two as well. Zinc and coenzyme Q10 have got special properties to improve infertility. So that is how it helps. The PCOS kit will help in management of infertility as well. But it has to be a comprehensive management. If you keep on giving only zinc and coenzyme Q10, there are many other associated factors that are left unattended. So overall comprehensive view is required, not focused that you are treating only one symptom. You're going to build up the entire system, the entire balance of micronutrients in the body, which gives you a good internal cellular environment, achieves homeostasis, and restores cell function. Gut reset Herfact is using lactoferrin and colostrum, which is available in the ProImmune kits. There is no need to give off after 4 months therapy. You can keep it continuous. You don't have to stop. We are stopping the dose for 2 days after every dose because each nutrient comes once in 3 days. So it is already discontinued. You don't have to discontinue it after any number of months. The option to stop the kit is only if your patient is not willing to take it, but they soon realize how much benefit they have and how much they lose if they don't take it. So they will themselves come back on the therapy. We have patients who are taken for past 13 to 15 years non-stop. They don't want to stop it. I've been recommending them discontinue for a few days, but the benefit on energy levels, the benefit on wellness, the benefit on their skin that they are having is so good, they don't want to stop it. And if they stop this kit, they will be taking some other vitamins or antioxidants just like that, without any reason. So it's better they follow a planned therapy, which is low dose. In this therapy, they themselves count and tell me I would have taken calcium 30 days a week, but I'm taking only 8 times and I'm having my bone densitometry showing better results. Once you have benefits seen from the patients, they are not worried about the money. Doctors themselves can use any of the kits. All of them are good. But ProImmune is the best one doctors should choose. That builds up immunity, that gives you very good iron levels, very good vitamin D, plus benefit of antioxidants. So ProImmune kits are the best kits in the whole lot. Every 2 months you evaluate and examine your patient, because within 2 months you will have some difference. Even at 1 month you have difference, but it's not very convincing to the patient. So take photographs in 5 different views. You have a center parting, you have a right oblique, left oblique to see the temporal angles, the top and the back, front line and the occipital wall area. When you compare the pictures, you will find improvement. Also do trichoscopy for these patients. On trichoscopic examination, you will find that you realize how the scalp and the roots are changing. So once in 2 months evaluation is good. So that's good. We would like to conclude here. I have not used the Ethicare therapy kit, so I won't be able to comment upon it. Head wash, twice anti-dandruff, twice regular shampoo. If no improvement after hair fact, sit with the patient and find out what the patient is not following correctly. They don't understand things. Some patients on their own are taking only one tablet instead of two. Some are taking for a few days, missing for a few days. Some are not doing regular scalp application. Some are following weight loss programs. Some are taking some other medicine that is counterproductive. They are using fat burners, high doses of proteins. I told you the story in the beginning, how we came up with hair fact, why we wanted hair fact. Okay, so time up, everybody. Thanks a lot for being on the webinar. We would like to conclude here. Thank you very much. The next topic will be communicated on WhatsApp by Amit and his team. Thank you very much. Any other unanswered questions, you can put them on the WhatsApp group. We will make sure we can reply. Thank you very much.